Hey everybody, welcome back to May's Bench Update. A lot of progress, a lot of news to get through, and I'll try to do it as expeditiously as possible. So, where should we start? Firstly, completed builds. There we go, the ICM Marauder over my shoulder there, and very humbled because not only well, it didn't turn out great, but it got picked up by ICM and it's on their social media. So if you go to their Facebook group or their other social media, pictures of this aircraft they asked for, I gave them, and it's up on there. So very humbled and pretty cool that yeah made it to their social media. So I'm not going to get it out because it's very fragile. If I move it, it's going to fall into a million pieces. I don't want to touch it. So as always, I'll put a little video in from outside in daylight. You can kind of see it. So where should we start with this one? Well, a lot of work, probably 60 to 80 hours, I say manpower hours to build it, probably 20 hours on the interior, but guess what? You see none of it. All I can see is a couple of the yellow seats inside, and that's it, nothing else. So there we go. But at least we know it's there. Went together pretty well. As you know, I'm doing a build series, and it's going to be 9 parts long, I think. So I think we're up to what, part 4 now. And it's my first time ever doing a natural metal finish, and I've always kind of been scared of it, but I've done it. Used Tamiya LP11, which turned out really well. Also, AK Gen 3 satin varnish over the top of it for the decals and weathering. It gives it perfect luster finish for the metal finish, I think. So I'm really happy how it turned out. A lot of new things I did. Created my canopy mask set for it. I also created a mask for the front with the yellow. You have to like paint the yellow a certain way. So I masked it, created a mask for that. The canopy masks are on my Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, head over there and you can download the file. And if you have a Cricut machine, you just print it right out. It's all sized, ready to go. Not for a beginner, I would say, because it went together okay, but towards the end, it was super fiddly. The last 24, 48 hours of putting the gear on, the doors, the bomb bay doors, all that very, very fiddly, very complex, and very, there's not much way attachment points. Like the gear, I know it's kind of emulating the real thing, which is probably a little bit gangly, but it's just very tiny places but glued where it's all attached to the gear. It's just very fragile. Even now, well, if I just tap it, it kind of wobbles a little bit. And you definitely get Metal Gear. So I obviously just being released, no aftermarket for it out the box. But if you're building this in a few months' time, get some brass or white Metal Gear for it for sure, just to kind of sturdy it up. Also, nose weight. Here's my public announcement. The instructions say 50 grams, and it shows you exactly where to put it. I put in 2 ounces, which I think is 56 grams, and exact same spot, and it is just barely balances. You've got to land at least 70 grams, if not more, in there. But you can't go too over the top because, again, the gear's a little bit weak. So if you put ounces worth of stuff in, it's just going to capsize. So it's a balancing act. So about 70 to probably 90 grams, I'd say, at least. Because to be honest with you, when I was putting it together, without the one that engine's on, it is a tail sitter. So that little engine just basically balances it out and keeps it level just. But there we go. But yeah, it was a really fun build. Really like the scheme. Looks great. Hope you agree. And another one in the book. So finished that one and carried on working with the Prowler. Now the Prowler is my video build over on Patreon. Again, check it out on Patreon. And that one, I'll show you in a minute, that one had some issues too. So firstly, mask set got delays for various reasons for masks. And finally got a mask set and got it painted. Went to add the decals and using the this scheme right here, the cam decals, which are probably a little bit old. I think a lot of these Prowler decals are for like the monogram. Is it monogram or is it like maybe old like Airfix kit, but older kits? And a couple of things. Firstly, they're very kind of thick, like almost like vinyl. So over the tail here, it just kept cracking. I did a great job, I think, do say so myself, to kind of get it to go down there and any cracks kind of paint over it and hide it. And they weren't quite the size. They're about 10-15% too big. So like for the tail, for example, it fits on the rudder, it overlapped. It was too big, which is weird. But they weren't sticking great either. But I thought, I'll persevere and see what I can do. Got them all on, used extra strong UMP decal solution, left it 24 hours, came back to do some weathering, and they just started to peel off. So at that point, we were done. So Don't know if I necessarily blame the decals, because I might have bought them secondhand on eBay. I can't remember. So it might be, the person that kept them before me might have kept them, non-temperature controlled environment for years in the attic or in the shed. Who knows? So, but anyway, didn't do great. So this one was scrapped. So took all the decals off, basically using packing tape, so the paint wasn't really damaged, and went back on eBay and tried to find another scheme, another set of decals, but not these ones, but a different brand. So I looked, and obviously I wanted to keep the same color scheme I had before, with dark and light ghost gray. I didn't want to kind of go to like the white and the gold gray, and obviously didn't want to repaint the whole thing. So I just had some minimal touch-ups to do. So came across another decal set, which hopefully get in a couple of days. And it was similar design to this one, just slightly different. So I had to repaint the canopy. The tail was repainted gray, and the reference pictures showed it very much weathered and a little bit more like color modulation of panel cut changes and stuff. So went back, spent a day repainting it after the decals are off, ready for the decals, the new decals to arrive, and it definitely has some more weathering, post shading to it, and actually turned out better than it did before. So maybe blessing the sky. So I think it looks better. So let me kind of bring it in and show you. So this is the Marauder with the Prowler, and I'm really happy with the colors on this one. Again, no weathering yet. This is just waiting for the decals, and like different color. Like this panel's really light on the reference pictures, and some other little panels. So yeah, I'm kind of happy how this really looks, and I think it's gonna be awesome. Also with the canopies, got them off so I don't drop them. I tinted it the gold tint, and again on the video, the painting video, I'll show you how I did that. Same way as with the F-22, but I think I haven't taken the masking off yet, but I think it's going to be good, where it gets slight kind of goldy radar absorbent kind of like tints it has on there too. And remember the Quinta Studio set in there. So again, one of my favorite aircrafts, the Prowler. Seen it in real life on Prince Sultan Air Force Base in Saudi Arabia back in 2001, I think, on a flight line. These guys were taking off. I can't remember if they're Navy or Marines, but always kind of liked them since then. And yeah, there we go. And again, the way color modulated this, really happy with it. And again, I've got weathering to add, and all that kind of jazz. And yeah, there we go. So video build series for this one coming up on Patreon. Well, I think we're up to like part 3 or so. There'll be some slight delays, obviously, because wait for masks and decals to get part 4 and 5 going. So that's the Prowler. And the other thing I've been working on, just started yesterday, is the F-16, which just talked about last month, with the cool kind of Cajun kind of splinter camo scheme. So you'll see in a minute when I talk about my purchases. I picked up this thing on eBay from a guy in China, and it's fab scale, the small mouth integrated in, basically 3D printed, which I'm not sure of it seems more plastic than resin, so it might be plastic printed, intake for the F-16, seamless intake. And that's it. It was very cheap. It was about $12 shipped on eBay, and arrived pretty quickly. It took about a week for the guy to ship it, but then it arrived like a week or two later. And again, it was cheap. Like usually seamless intakes are about $20, $30. Again, this was about $12 for this brand. Never seen it before. Got it, and got it out of the box. And I was like looking at it, thinking, this seems really small. So I got the calipers out and measured it all and stuff, and it seemed okay. Maybe it's just like an optical illusion. And I couldn't wait, so I have built that part, and I can show you that it does fit absolutely perfectly in the Tamiya kit. So yeah, there we go. Seamless. I primed it black, just sprayed some white in right now for this part. But I do hate doing this F-16 intakes, getting the seams out. And the fact that I got this for $12, I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, fit like a glove. So that's the start of the F-16. And also I've started working on the cockpit off camera there. I've started using the space set to put the instruments on. And by next month, I'll probably finish, to be honest with you. It won't take very long. I built so many of these. Nice Tamiya kit. After doing some of these complex kits, Prowler, Kinetic Prowler, ICM Marauder, those kind of kits, wanted something a little bit easy for Mojo, easy to go together with nice instructions, and Tamiya obviously fits the bill. So I don't think of any problems. Looking at this, there's not too much to it. So I think 2 or 3 weeks after this one finished probably, and by next month we'll be on the ready for reveal. But yeah, there we go. So fit perfectly. So again, fab scale. And I'm not sure what else they do, if they have any other aircraft or not, but it came well packaged and looked nice, and again, easy fit, perfect fit, straight in. So that's what I've been up to, which is obviously quite a lot. And what else should we talk about? Oh, purchases. So one kit, obviously got the Marauder, which I'm not sure I talked about last month or not, and just picked up this kit. ICM's Edward's Overlord, Operation Overlord, which is D-Day, twin boxing of the Mustang. So you get two kits in there, some really nice markings, limited edition. You get the mast sets, and you get the some photo etch for the cockpit, and they're different markings. And for whatever reason, this sells out. This is very popular. It sold out Spru Brothers in like a day. Sold out in Scale Hobbyist, where I got mine in like a day. But they got more in stock now. But it's definitely a hot seller. $73.99, which I thought wasn't a bad price for two. They have a Royal Class set, which is about $100. So about $27 more. And basically all your difference is you have a couple more markings. You have their kind of space set, which is like a Quinta Studios instead of the color photo etch, which is so-so. It's not as good as Quinta Studios, I don't think. And what else? You get some foam inserts for like the masking. So underneath where the wheels go, you got like some shaped foam, which kind of slot in for masking. Again, I just use normal foam. That's not really an issue for me. And you get like a pin badge. So for me, it looked nice boxing, but for $27, it didn't really worthwhile for me paying that extra. Also has some 3D parts. I think a 3D, some wheels, exhaust, and seats as well. But again, in 48 scale, you don't really see it. I think plastic's more than adequate. So for me, again, that $27 difference, I thought this was a better deal. So I picked up this one. It seems like a lot of other people have, because again, this one's sold out, whereas the Royal Class is still in stock in a lot of places. So watch out on Tuesday. I'll probably do a quick little unboxing for this one, and we'll see what's inside the box and go through in more detail. Also, I got a bunch of aftermarket stuff last couple of weeks, and actually the mail time video for my Patreon. So rather than just repeating myself, I'm just going to insert that little clip of my unboxing stuff on the bench, so you can see all my aftermarket stuff in more detail. Okay, mail time. So I got a few bits in the mail the past week, mostly aftermarket. I thought, you know what, let's just do a quick video and show you guys what I got and talk through this. So we'll start off with two Bobs sent me the Cajun Aggressors. Remember, I talked about these if you see my previous videos. Just a really cool scheme there, with a splinter camo and that tail. So as you may or may not know if you see my videos, I'm going to build this version in 48 scale, the lovely Tamiya kit. So I got the decals, and to go along with that, I finally got my seamless intake. Now, I got this on eBay. It was like $12 shipped, and from China. I thought, I placed the order. It had like a delivery date of July or something, which, you know, they normally pad them out a little bit. And I waited like a week and nothing shipped. So I emailed, like, sent a message to the email. I messaged eBay to the guy saying, "Hey, when's it going to ship?" And then saying next morning it magically shipped with a tracking number. And it showed up in the mail this week, and I opened it. I thought maybe it's too good to be true, and took out my seamless intake, because guess what? I don't like taking out seams, and it looked really nice. But I looked at it and I thought, huh, that seems small, too small. So I took the kit, opened the kit box, looked at the kit parts, and glanced at it. And again, compared to this one, although that one's in two parts in the kit, and I thought, yeah, this definitely looks smaller. So I took the digital calipers out and measured, you know, the end of it, and it's perfect, exactly the same size. It's just maybe an illusion, but can't go wrong. You know, I really hate taking seams out in these F-16 intakes, and the fact for $12 I can get this 3D printed part, which hopefully is a fit. I guess when we get to building it, we'll find out. Was a kind of win for me, so I thought it was a good deal. So yeah, some unknown brand here, but again, I got it on eBay. It was like $12 and change from China, and just a direct, hopefully a direct fit. All right, ordered this one a while ago from ResKit, again on eBay. So it's cheapest price. It came from Ukraine, so it showed for about a week or two, kind of moving around Ukraine, going to Kyiv, and I thought, yeah, with the war going on, it's going to be a while till I get this. And actually, we've then moved pretty quickly. So again, moved through the mail system and got this for my Israeli Apache, the chain gun. It's 3D printed part position, so it's kind of pointing up like stowed. So it's a nice box, and got some decals. And again, this is another one of those where it kind of smaller than I expected, but nevertheless, it's kind of hard to see because it's in the crate there. You know, it's all kind of think you really can see it very well, but really nicely detailed resin 3D printed chain gun. So I'll put that in a box with my Apache for when I get around the building now. Oh, close it back up in the box. Get it nicely packaged. All right, next up is a Fender FE-180K. These are very famous in the UK. For some reason, you get them easy in the UK. You can't get them in the US. Chinese airbrush, but been used by Phil Flory and the people over there for over a year now, and they really like them. And if you're in the UK, you can get these super cheap. Now, I went on Amazon. Well, I went on AliExpress, and the store there closed down. And got hair on there. Went to Amazon.co.uk and found these pretty cheap. And actually, believe it or not, if you go to Amazon.co.uk and you're in the US, you can get actually ship internationally very cheap. I think it was like £5 shipping. So I just ordered through the Amazon.co.uk Amazon, and it arrived in the mail, airmail. And I think even with the shipping, I think it was like $38 US, which is actually for an airbrush is really good. Now you'll know that I'm a big fan of the Mr. Hobby Pro Convoy airbrushes. Used them for years. Last one I've been using is in parts right now because I use them quite a lot and pretty brutal with them. And this one just getting gummed up a little bit. So I started to repair it, and I think I kind of made it worse. So I thought, you know what, let's get one of these to try. And if I really like it, I can probably buy 3 of these, if not 4, for the same price as a Pro Convoy airbrush. So it comes in a nice box. And this one's a little broken on the side here. It normally tips up, but it's broken. And you got the airbrush, and not only do you get an airbrush, but you get a 0.2 needle inside it, and you get a 0.3 needle and a 0.3 nozzle as well included. So if this nozzle, whatever, so my plan is I'm going to start at 0.2, and as you know, with time, you know, it gets tolerances get a little out, so it basically turns to 0.3, and then once this is worn out or bend the needle, I can just put a 0.3 nozzle in and 0.3 needle. So the airbrush itself, first impressions, feels decent. It feels nice. And my big bug with the gallery airbrushes that they keep sending me, the color cup, it has like when you put the paint down, it has like a big kind of like, it's just, I can't describe it, but it's, well, maybe actually, I actually have one here. So this is a gallery airbrush, and the problem is it kind of goes in quite far for the hole there. We drop paint in it, it's like a long way in, like this bit right here. Whereas like the Pro Convoy and this Fender brush, you can see the needle. So you can add, if you're doing small areas, you can add a small piece of paint in there and you can see it. Whereas this one, you know, it goes way down into the base here. Now, these gallery airbrushes, I mean, again, they keep sending to me free of charge to review, and I'm pretty honest. They're not. If those gallery airbrushes were like $20, sure, but I mean, some of them like $80 to $100. Those advanced ones, and for that price, you just buy a Pro Convoy airbrush from spraygunner.com. So, but the point in this one is, again, you've got quite a nice feeling airbrush, although, you know, it doesn't feel cheaply made. It feels quite nice in the hand. Again, Flory's been using it for a while now. You get that spare needle, spare nozzle. You get a 0.2 and a 0.3 needle, and you also get an airbrush hose if you need that. The only thing it's missing is a quick disconnect, which I obviously have tons of anyway. So yeah, I think it seems like a good deal. So again, if you're in the US, go across to Amazon.co.uk, and I think it's like $38 it works out to be shipped here to the US. If you buy more than one, obviously the shipping, I think it kind of gets a little bit better in price. But yeah, I'll give this one a go for the next couple of weeks, maybe on the Prowler and the Marauder I'm working on, and I'll check back in a couple of weeks, or shoot me a message. I'll let you know how it's working out. And like I said, if it does work out, then I'll probably go ahead and buy some more of these ones. It goes that way around. All right. Okay, so now on to a box I just got from Spru Brothers, and this is what I got for $80. When you look at it, it's like, oh wow, not much for your money, right? So we'll go through what we got. So firstly, F-14B stuff we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, that Tamiya kit. So I got decals, scheme I'm going for. Never done Jolly Rogers, so I'll do Jolly Rogers and F-14B, and there's your decals. Nothing really there too exciting. So decal sheet wasn't very expensive. And to go to decals, we got the Quinta Studios, of course, because that's my favorite thing to do right now. Is do these really detailed Quinta Studios cockpits, 48 scale. Now it's nice because this one with the late A has has both configurations of the back seat, so it has the more modern digital bit for the B, plus which is basically a square instead of the round kind of screen in the back. So we've got both options. So this will make my B. So that's what we got for the B project. We've got finally starting to get going with the Prowler, which has been stalling for a little bit. I got the mast set. I don't know why. I fly in Leatherneck, so I always get burnt because the stuff always never fits. So we'll give one more shot. Apparently he changed all his stuff and he redid stuff. So we've got mast set, so we get the canopy mast up and get ready, get painting with the Prowler. So that was really cheap. It was like $5, whereas the Edward one was like $15. So a little bit of savings there. And then finally, as you know, I was going to, well, may not know, I was going to build the B-26K Counter Invader, the Vietnam one. So I got some stuff, needed this anyway. Well, really need the mast set, so one and that stuff too. So I thought, this stuff was cheap, so I added this as well. As it turns out, as I mentioned previously, I'm building the Marauder now instead, because somebody's done a really great Vietnam build series or build video on YouTube. So there's no point duplicating content. So I am working on the Marauder, and I'll give you a sneak little look here. This is the cockpit tub I've been working on. So yeah, quite happy how it's turning out so far. So for the Counter Invader, I picked this up. This was $10 and a Quid Studio set. They had a small version or a big version. I think they might have sent me the wrong one. I got the small one for $10 and I got 3 sheets in here. So I think they sent me the wrong one, which is not bad. I mean, I've got all of this. So they sent me the wrong, well, pretty confident they sent me the wrong set. So they sent me the larger set, which is like $30 instead of a $10 one. So anyway, thank you. And wheels, because the wheels in the kit are absolutely shocking. They're just zero detail at all in the ICM kit. So these much better, but treaded, and yeah, these should be much better looking. So there we go. So that's what I got. So for 5 items, that's what basically shipping. That's what, just on $80, which kind of ridiculous when you think about it. All right, so there we go. That's covered pretty much most of it. What I purchased, what I've been working on, my finished builds, and yeah, ready to go. So upcoming month, I'm taking my daughters down to Dominican Republic, so I'll be offline for a while on vacation, but I'll continue working on the F-16 and the Prowler, and hopefully by June update, those two will be finished and be on to my next project. So thank you thank you for watching. Appreciate your support, and there's tons of channels out there, and time's precious, especially in the summer. So I'm really grateful for you took the time to spend with me today and go over my shenanigans here in the modeling cave. So have a great summer, and I'll see you next time. Bye.